The signs of stress can actually be the physical signs of stress. It could be the, further the behavioral signs of stress, and could also be the mental signs or the emotional signs of stress. What we usually observe in children or even in adults. So basically, you will, as an individual, you will feel your heartbeat is faster, or, you're having cramps in the stomach. Sometimes you describe it as butterflies in the stomach. Sometimes children feel nauseated, They're sweating in the palms just before I'm going in to write an exam. I'm all set, but my palms are sweating. These are things that we ourselves realize as an individual. Then at the same time, there can be dryness in the mouth, or, there can be insomnia, sleepless nights. All those things are common physical aspects. And behavioral aspects will be someone can be fidgeting, someone can be constantly shaking their leg, right? Or an increased amount of, nail biting, grinding of teeth at night. Parents will realize this sometimes when they're sleeping next to their children during exams, they will be grinding their teeth. This is something that is a common observation. So this is another thing the parents need to look out for. And mental and emotional signs could be, of course, difficulty in concentrating, sometimes totally going blank. That happens to many students, right? They get so anxious that they go blank when they see the paper. Many students come back and tell us that. So today we can delve a little deeper into what is actually happening. These are the signs basically, but what is happening and why are these signs evolving? So when we go into a stress mode, which is a very, very primal response to a human, of a human rather, if I encounter, imagine a tiger, I'll get stressed. Now I have only three ways of reacting to it, right? The reaction could be either a fight or a flight, or I could freeze. So when I go into a fight mode, right, as relate the tiger to the exam. For the child, that exam itself is the tiger or the lion, right? So what happens is that when the child gets into the fight mode, what we perceive and what the child is going through is a little different. So it's important that we understand. So when the child is in the the fight mode, what happens is that the child tends to fight the examination itself. But the child is not going and say, oh, I'm going to really deal with it. I'm going to do well. I'm going to ace it. That kind of a thought is not going on in the mind of a child who's stressed. Instead, the thought that's going on is that I'm going to fight with all the people around. Because they can't fight with the teachers, they can't fight with certain adults in their life. So when can they fight and where can they fight? They can fight only in a safe space. That safe space is the unconditional space that they have of the family. So they tend to fight and be at loggerheads with the parents, with siblings, with close friends. So that is one observation that parents should make, that the child seems to be in a fight mode because of stress. The second aspect is the flight mode, wherein they would want to run away. If it's a tiger, you would want to run away. The exams, they want to run away. They don't want to face it. So instead, they're trying to bide over the time leading up to the exams. And they kind of, we get a feeling that, oh, they are not concerned at all, right? They are busy playing games on the phone. They're busy texting their friends sometimes, and they're doing anything but studying. So in a way, it is running away from the exams. They're unable to face it, right? While the parent is perceiving it as my child is just not serious. They're not sitting down and maybe, trying to decipher it. And of course, the third thing that's really happening is that, of the freeze aspect, wherein, you will feel suddenly as a parent or a teacher that the child has gone into a mode where the child is not reacting, has gone into a shell, is not at all talking to the friends. A child who was a happy-go-lucky child a few days back, now that exams are approaching, the child has totally become, someone who's not communicative, right? Is not responding. So that is the third aspect. So sometimes we don't see it like that. So it's important for parents and children also to realize what is happening internally to them and to their reactions. And the physical things that we see, we discussed earlier, the symptoms. Those are the symptoms that show up.